Welcome back. The Next Move Cast, and I'm joined here tonight by the fabulous Nicholas Coriano. Nick, how are you, my friend?
I'm excellent. I'm joined by the wonderful Vinny Manjacopper. How's it going? Good evening.
Good evening to you. I'm doing great tonight. Welcome back. So yeah, we're real excited. We got our first guest here today. That we're gonna uh, learn a little bit more about some of the moves that this gentleman's made in his journey thus far, and we're gonna learn a little bit more about his thought process, decision making, where he is now, where he'd like to go, and how we can help others kind of evolve through their own process a little bit too. So, Nick, I'll turn it over to you to introduce our guest tonight.
Yeah, tonight we have Harold Blackwell. Harold with Chestnut Consulting. Harold, say hi to everybody on the Next Move Cast.
Hey everybody, good evening. How's everybody?
We're
Harold,
good. We're good, man.
I feel like we need some welcoming music, but welcome aboard here, my friend. We're real excited to have you tonight.
We are
I'm
excited.
excited to be here, man.
We're excited to learn a little bit more about you. Tell us a little bit of foundation on, where you come from and what you're doing currently at Chestnut Consulting.
Sure. So basically, just to give you guys some background, I actually am a native of Connecticut. I was born and raised in Bridgeport, and after high school, actually, I relocated to Virginia. I attended a small state school called Norfolk State University. I was a business finance major. Once I graduated, I actually wanted to get into Wall Street, purpose of the finance degree. Came back here to Connecticut and worked and bounced around a couple of shops in and around the industry, culminating in a career that ended with an investment bank. Actually, I was in a couple of investment banks. Had the chops, or wanted to actually test my chops in entrepreneurship. I had crafted a business plan where I just knew that I was basically going to be involved in my passion, which at the time I figured I wanted to own a farm, an indoor hydroponic farm. Took the whole time while I was working to actually craft the business plan. And so after, I'd say about 3 years, I actually initiated executing the business plan while I was actually working, started the operation. And that was a long 3 years. You need a supportive partner. So uh, my better half, Sam Yuri, she was the one who was pushing and said, let's get it done. So we would spend weekends at farmers markets, traveling to distribute our produce and our grains to different or various retail outlets in and around Connecticut. And so it wasn't until recently, after I'd say we'd been in operation for about 6 years, I really felt that I really wasn't getting the push that or I should say, the support from different groups who had promised backing, even though I was basically bootstrapping the whole operation at that point. Going and relying back on my background, I said, you know what, need to put a halt at this point in time. I had some other irons that were in the fire that I wanted to focus on as well. So I went forward and executed some of those other businesses that I wanted to bring forth those ventures. And so right now I'm in a holding pattern with the indoor hydroponic farm, but have been focusing on my business consulting, which is Chestnut Street Consulting, working with entrepreneurs, getting some great referrals from municipal partner agencies. And then in addition to that, getting some great referrals from professionals that are in my network who know of people or entrepreneurs who are looking to get assistance with respect to strategic or business strategy and implementation and execution. And I've actually got a couple of other ventures where I've partnered with colleagues on, also a partner in a software or I should say a cybersecurity company, and also a construction company down in Virginia. So I've got my hands full, so to say the least.
So Harold, when did you realize that you wanted to be out on your own, and what did that move look like when you said, I'm going to go venture out on my own and start Chestnut Consulting?
So it actually happened many years ago. Well, actually, while I was in college, I had a relative who actually was an entrepreneur. This guy was deeply involved in real estate, still is to this point, and he was a real estate investor at that point in time. And he actually, as of when I had graduated from college, and he kept going on and executing different ideas in real estate, mortgage brokerage and construction. And he was basically my impetus where I said, wow, you know what? That's what self-employment looks like. But it wasn't until being on Wall Street, we had our first hiccups. I would say that financial crisis around 2007, 2008. And I had gotten, that was the first time I had ever been laid off. Didn't expect it, blindsided me. I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that I was caught flat-footed, wasn't too sure on how I was going to end up at and where I'd land next. And I said, I never want that feeling again. I'm going to plan and prepare so that this way, if anything ever happens again like that, I'm just going to make the transition and focus on myself. So the second time around, it came, it happened. I was prepared. I already had the business plan. I had the idea, was already ready to move forward. And ever since then, I would say that initial incident and the follow-up, the second one, it's been like no looking back, so to speak. No paying attention to the rear view, looking forward all the time.
Harold, this is Vinny. One of the things that you mentioned there is, I think, pretty interesting. I think what you made one great point, which is having a supportive partner. Number one is critical. If you got a partner,
Oh, absolutely.
If you have a partner and that person is not supportive, it makes your efforts even that much more insurmountable to a degree. So I want to recognize you for that. That is an absolute certainty. But just kind of having the parallel paths of different things in case a promise of backing doesn't come through, and having another way that you can go right away in order to direct your attention and keep the process overall of growth moving personally. Talk a little bit more about that and the challenge of that to a degree of trying to focus on one thing predominantly, like the hydroponic farm, but still have these other interests develop a little bit alongside that.
Absolutely. So with respect to that, one of the things specifically is you need capital if you're going to basically do something for the long haul. Not saying that you're going to have to go out there and expect that you need $10 million to execute something. But the point being, and as everyone knows, this is a capitalistic society, and capital is required if you're going to go down the route of commerce or business. So one of the things that I always try to remember is my relative, my cousin, who said it's all about saving. You've got to have your own capital when you're out here, irrespective of what you're doing. I don't care if you're just going to, wash cars, for example. He said that requires equipment. You've got to be able to afford and buy the equipment. So being well capitalized also comes with relationships and people friends, family. That's one of the first things when, venture capitalists, that they're not going to invest unless they see that you've got some skin in the game. And the way that you show you've got skin in the game and you're moving forward is the fact that you have support of friends and family by and with collecting some of their capital to help your business. And then in addition to that, also your own capital, be it whatever, savings, maybe an inheritance from grandma or grandpa, or some gift that you received, commissions, bonuses through your regular ordinary business routine or your employment. Saving and having that makes the world a difference, because once you're out here and you don't have that regular bi-weekly or weekly paycheck, it's that money is only going to come in if you're developing and doing the business and pushing it hard. But when that isn't going, you need that savings account, that cushion.
That's an excellent point. Harold, so if you wanted to leave our audience with one thing that can help them succeed in their next move, what advice would you give off of your successes and your stumbles along the way that can help our audience out for their next move?
I would say that, even when I had first gotten out here, and I was pretty much still had some nascent experience, right, with actually implementing an operation. I don't have a horticulture degree. That's not my background at all. Everything that I learned, I actually did on my own. I'm talking about going the route of reading books, picking up anything that I could find related to what I wanted to do, and also looking at a YouTube University and speaking with experts and people in the field and the industry. But one thing I'd like to say is it's very important and imperative that you speak with people, and that you, from the first instance that you even get an inkling that you want to do something like, for example, entrepreneurship, that you have an advisor or mentor. One is great, two is better, but more than that, even the best, because you're going to need someone who's got that experience, not specific to the industry that you're necessarily doing, but the experience and understanding of what it's like to actually run and operate businesses, being an entrepreneur, an investor, et cetera. It makes a world of difference, because those people are the ones who've already cut their teeth and know what to expect out here. And they can probably, as someone had just told me the other day, be a mind clearer of sorts, and preventing you from going down the path of calamity and danger, and also being able to help you point yourself into, if the road forks off, which direction to go to. Just having advisors and mentors and being able to just bounce things off, or just being able to speak with someone to provide that clarity that's sometimes needed when you just don't know which way is up, makes a world of difference. And so with that said, that's one piece of advice that I give out to people, is definitely get a mentor and a peer and an advisor. And they don't have to be someone who has an enormous amount of experience or is much older than you. You can also get peer advisors or mentors, but just get someone or a couple people in your side who can help you sort through and figure things out.
Harold, I want to thank you. This is you seem like a gentleman that I want to meet personally. I don't know. You seem like a guy that, hopefully for our audience, I want to tell you this. The story is inspiring. Your take on it is inspiring. How do people get a hold of you? What's your contact information that you want to share? How do people find you out there in the internet world, or be able to connect with you?
Sure. So the first way people can connect with me, you can reach me via email. It's my first name, Harold, at Chestnut, followed by the abbreviation like street, ST, consulting.com. And that's also actually my website, www.chestnutstconsulting.com. And you can also reach me via phone. I'll put my number out here. It's area code 203-650-3950. So you reach out to me, you can shoot me an email, you can call me, or you can also lob a contact message through the website, www.chestnutstsamthomasconsulting.com. Chestnut, street abbreviation, stconsulting.com.
All right, perfect. Well, we appreciate you coming on. We're going to package this up and get this out on social media so you can help share with your audience as well over there. Nick, I'm sure will help introduce that once we're up and running with this. But certainly want to thank you for your time and look forward to having you back on to share some other stories with us. Nick?
Vinny, I appreciate it. It's a pleasure. I definitely look forward to meeting with you. And Nicholas, we're definitely, as you know, we've got to catch up. We've got a couple things in the works that we just need to clarify. But with that said, I appreciate the opportunity and really hope any and everybody who's listening, and if you're on the ledge or the fence and you're still figuring out where to go or how to go about it, that you make that decision, speak with people, family, friends, and advisors, or heck, reach out to any one of us. I'm more than glad and willing to speak with you and at least help speak with you to figure this out.
That's it. Thank you so much, Harold, and thanks everybody for listening and watching, and we're on to the next one.
Thanks, guys.